Hello and welcome. You are watching Newscliff and I am Pallab Ghosh with you. Well, one of the biggest news from India this week and last week remains the bomb hoax threats on Indian Airlines. Almost all the airlines, from Air India to private airlines, had received bomb hoax all through the week. According to a report, over 40 bomb threats were received. One of the aviation experts said that the aviation industry is bound towards the safety and security of the passengers. Hence, even if it's a hoax, or even if they understand that it could be a hoax, they cannot really underestimate these bomb threats. And in doing so, the Indian Airlines and all these airlines have incurred huge expenses, huge economic damage, because in most of the cases, the existing flights were either grounded or cancelled, and subsequently these passengers were put on a different connecting flight on which they, of course, they traveled to their destination. Now, in doing so, the airlines which had to bear the brunt, had to bear the cost, was at the receiving end. And all through the week, according to respective airlines, they had incurred huge economic loss. Second, as I said, the aviation industry is based on trust and faith of passengers. And as one of the aviation experts said, and I quote, "Passenger safety is foremost for us. Hence, if we understand that it could be a hoax call, we have to pay heed to this." And this is what happened exactly. Though all through the week, the ministry, aviation ministry and home ministry, they held numerous meetings with security agencies, and they tried to locate the reason of these hoax calls. Luckily, as one of the aviation staff said, and I quote, "We are fortunate enough that these 40 calls turned out to be nothing but hoax," unquote. But suppose if these were real, these were not fake, can you imagine what could have happened? This is exactly where the aviation industry, the passengers, the government, and all the investigating agencies are actually trying to find out the reason. They are scared, they are worried. And during these long meetings, the aviation ministry reached to a conclusion that if anybody found guilty, though nobody has been found guilty until now, even according to the aviation industry, I repeat, it's just a prank, a hoax, but a very costly prank, a very costly hoax, because it has incurred huge economic damages on these airlines. But as I said, since these are still pranks and hoax, so the scare of bomb blast or something very drastic was not seen, fortunately, God forbid. But the ministry during these meetings had reached the conclusion that anybody found guilty would be put on no-flying list. And not only this, the aviation industry also are trying to find other aspects to this hoax cause, because industries is hell-bound to locate this problem once for all. Back home, the passengers are scared. They are in two minds, but many of the passengers, they have to travel, so they are taking the risk. In such a situation, when the Indian Airlines was facing these hoax calls and threats, on Monday today, the Khalisthani terrorist Pannun had issued a notice, and it's really very serious. It says, don't fly on Indian Airlines between 1st to 19th. He further says that the Sikh organization will be observing the anniversary of Sikh Genocide. For those who are not familiar with Sikh Genocide, it was the massacre of Sikh community on the night of 31st October in wake of late Indira Gandhi, Indian Prime Minister, who was assassinated by her own bodyguard Satwan Singh and Byan Singh. Because of this, some fringe elements and of course some of the political factions of a particular political party had carried out mass massacre, or as they call it, Sikh Genocide of 1984. Very dark days, 3 days in Delhi when Sikhs were massacred. Of course, the number is huge across India. In fact, one of my very senior journalists, very senior, he once said that he was traveling from Delhi to Lucknow, and on the train, some people had boarded and said, if there are any Sikhs, then give them to us. It was very dangerous situation. Very pathetic indeed. After that, the Sikh community and Sikh organizations, especially the fringe elements, the Khalistan and those sitting back in Canada and US, are trying to trivialize this issue and make it big every 31st October. And this 31st October, once again, the Pannun has warned not to fly on Indian Airlines from 1st to 19th. He says there could be bomb blasts and passengers could die. Of course, security have been beefed up after this, but the question is there any connection between the ongoing bomb hoax, ongoing bomb threats to airlines, and Pannun's warning? Of course, Home Ministry will definitely look into this. Aviation industry will look into this. Investigating agencies will look into this. But the last question that arises is, how come a terrorist outfit like Pannun or Khalistani fringe elements even think of holding Indian Airlines, Indian flights hostage and threat the passengers? Think it over. This is Pallab Ghosh signing off for Newscliff.